everyone. Welcome back to another show on the Life School MasterClass SHOW. We're back again with another fabulous guest with a new topic. We're also found on any major podcast platforms. And if you're looking to, always looking for sponsors to sponsor our show and for guests to be on. So you can always click the link underneath the interview if you're interested in that. And lastly, I'm your host, Elona Lopari. I'm a business strategist and I help service providers to position their high ticket offers through organic marketing and sales coaching conversations so they can scale to 6 and 7 figures. And today I have with me another amazing guest, as I mentioned, Crystal Bach. Crystal, thank you so much for finding time to chat with me today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure to chat and meet new people. And that's, I think, one of the best values out of the show that I get. So I want to jump right in and give us a little bit of an introduction and a little bit about your background so we can get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Crystal Balk. I'm born and raised in San Diego, California, so sunny California, as many will say it. Here, I've been very privileged from the business side because California, or at least in San Diego, we've really incorporated not only corporations but small businesses, startups, and so forth. So I have been very, very privileged to network with amazing people around my community. But now I have become global, with this whole changes of life perspective and so forth. And so I've been very privileged with that as well. So I do more of a marketing consulting. So I really love what I do because with the understanding that, as entrepreneurs, we wear multiple hats. We're constantly on the go. We can't learn everything 100%, right? Sometimes we need a little bit of help. So I've came to a conclusion that yes, even though operations is very important, the first thing that anybody needs is a plan, right? So the interesting part about this is that we create business plans, we create sales plans, we create all kinds of plans. But when it comes to the marketing, I started to realize there's no marketing plans. It was just kind of like, let me get the Facebook, let me get the LinkedIn, but there's no real execution. There was no real understanding of how it operates or how it would perform for that particular client. So I started switching from operations to consulting just because I started to see the need of it. And most importantly, I love to educate. So I know that marketing is constantly changing. I mean, business itself is constantly changing. The way to target people, right? Some people say it's organic, not organic. It's just very, very different depending where you are around the world as well. So being able to understand not only your audience, but where you're at, where you're selling, right? Some people are local, some people are global. There's a difference of marketing within itself as well. So I started to understand the global understanding more in perspective that not everybody is the same. And I do not believe in templates and I do not believe in none of that because I do believe that every business has a story and a uniqueness behind everything, right? Like at the end of the day, I'm an entrepreneur as well. So I started my business for a reason and it has more than just money, right? There's an understanding that for me, at least for me, I can only speak for myself, being able to educate and leave a legacy behind so that future generations can come and kind of in a way make their business better and more genuine is exactly what I wanted to showcase to the world, right? So that's my story. However, every entrepreneur has their own story. So how do you brand that? How do you market yourself, right? So if you're constantly copying somebody else's ideas or being somebody that you're not, unfortunately, that damages you because you're not being genuine. And the moment that you are not genuine, you lose trust. And the moment that people lose trust on you is the moment that you lose a client and a lot of stuff. So it's not even worth it, right? So I oftentimes say if there's a progress that's working for them, research it and see what they're doing wrong, what they're doing right, and see how you can, for say, put that into your business, but don't copy absolutely everything that they're doing, right? Because that's who they are. They have maybe their type of personality that's changing, the way their business is, going, or just a lot of factors that go into it. There's a lot of times people say, okay, I have this, I have that, I have the website, I have the social media, I'm good. No, it takes, believe me, it takes way more than just having those platforms. It takes, for example, like, you interview people in a podcast, right? It takes, from a perspective of PR, it takes networking, it takes a lot of different factors that go into the marketing. So that's kind of a little bit of what I do, but in a more summarized way. But being able to understand that you don't just have one option to do your business. There's multiple ways, and you can be as broad or as narrow as you want, as long as you're able to focus on it and deliver as well.
Hmm. Wow, that's amazing. And we speak similar language because I'm also into the field. But what I love that you said, it's like you need a plan. You need a strategic plan. And not every business is the same. And it's very overwhelming a lot of times because we have so many more channels now, I feel like, and a lot of them are for free. It's very easy to just be everywhere, but really be nowhere and not have results and not really focus on building that brand and really be, attracted by the shiny object syndrome, and really just chase people. Oh, this looks like something interesting in the moment. So then you're going down that route and then you're really just getting nowhere. So plan is definitely very, very important, and personalized plan, because you can be in a different phase in your business. And sometimes if you're copying, let's say someone, they probably have been doing this for 10 years. So you have never learned a process, and you're really going to make the wrong mistake and dilute your brand, as you said. So really, really valuable information so far. So Crystal, give us some advice. So where do we start? Let's say people now realize that they need a marketing plan. They need to be more strategic with how they're exposing their offers and their gifts. I always say that you can be very, you can have a lot of gifts, you can be very good at what you do, but without the marketing piece, it's like, how are you putting yourself out there? How are people supposed to find out about you? So you can share it with the world, because most of us, that's what we want to do as entrepreneurs. So where can they start? What do you recommend based on your expertise?
Absolutely. And I think generally, from what I've seen and from what I've researched and from what I've just overall gotten from a lot of my clients, is basically, as a person, as an entrepreneur, start off and just sit down and write your ideas for your business. Like, what is it that you want to see within, and you don't have to go that far, within the next year, right? What is it that you really, really want? So your overall strategy. So what is your overall goal for that year? And what is it that you really, really want to hit? I think one of the things that is harder for entrepreneurs is indecisiveness. That I don't know, should I do this? I don't know, should I do that? So being able to just sit down for a second and write down your ideas and your thoughts and your even if it sounds like, oh my God, this is not realistic, who cares? Write it down, because at the end of the day, you will work towards it, right? And so then after you have your overall ideas, then think about, okay, what platforms do I have to be in every platform? Maybe do I have to utilize every platform? It's personally, I believe that it's the ones that you get the most out of it, right? Spend the most time on those, the most you get your potential clients on. So if you feel like LinkedIn's working for you better, then spend more time on that than some of the other platforms, right? If you feel like Facebook's doing better, if you're not sure, then that's definitely going to be a testing mode to see where exactly you're at, and see like who's your perfect ideal client, right? I'm not just saying a client, your perfect ideal client that you would say, oh my God, if I can get more of these people, they would make my life amazing. Because at the end of the day, we want to be able to not only just have a business, but enjoy it and not stress about it, right? We want to be able to perform to our best ability, but also you want to do it with like a smile, and you already have enough stress in your life, and you want to make sure that those people are being happy about it, but also that you're happy about it. Because I've seen where, obviously when you're starting up and things like that, there's a lot going on in your mind. There's a lot of things that you're not sure of. And you start taking whatever clients, right? Oh, they're paying me, whatever clients. And then you start to realize that some of them are just not for you. And that's okay. And then you start to test which ones are the ones for you. And then so make sure to stick a little bit more to those because you're going to do a better job, right? So it's like a regular job too. Like if you're not liking what you do, you're going to have a really hard time to deliver versus waking up and say, oh my God, I love absolutely everything I do. Let me take care of you. Let me make sure that's if you have services. If you have your e-commerce, and obviously it's a little bit different. But be making sure that you know exactly what you want. And and even if it sounds realistic, it's okay because we're here to make the impossible possible because we're entrepreneurs at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I love that. It all starts with defining ideal client. I mean, where are they first, right? That's kind of narrowing down your focus right there. It's like, okay, where are they hanging out? So once you define that, I think the rest becomes a process of trial and error, of course, especially when you're at the beginning. You're going to take on those clients that might give you headaches, but that's how you know that those are not your clients, right? So it's a lot of testing, it's a lot of things like that, because you're also learning and growing as an entrepreneur, which is why I love personally this journey, even though a lot of times it's got its ups and downs, but it's the best personal development because you're growing with everything. You're growing with your goals, you're growing with your experience, and you just get better and wiser and more focused, and your vision gets clearer along the way. And it's always like, just like you said, just get a piece of paper or start writing some goals down. And a lot of people avoid that, right? Because it's scary. It's scary to write goals down because then the next thing is like, how am I going to get this done? Forget about how. Just first figure out what you're going to do. So that's amazing advice. Thank you so much, Crystal. And I wanted to know, with your ideal client, what advice would you give? How would they start defining who their ideal client is? What would be some of the maybe like quick tips that you can offer?
You'll start to see that when you're starting off, you have to go search. You have to go search, right, your ideal client, and then as you move forward and progress, those ideal clients will start coming to you. Just because some people might refer each other, or they might like the way you operate and work, or they might like your product. It's just you'll start to see that you don't have to work. I mean, of course you always have to work hard. Don't get me wrong, but you're gonna see that the people are coming towards you. And also too, I want to just point out it's the way your mentality is as well, right? So if you're constantly like, no, those, my ideal client's not going to come to me, I'm just going to stick to this, and obviously they're not going to come to you. But if you have the mindset of this is the exact type of people that I want, then you yourself are going to start gravitating towards those kind of people, in a way, start mimicking in them in a way, and start to understand where they're coming from, and then you'll be able to associate yourself with them and then be able to problem solve whatever they have. I'm sure Elona, that in times in marketing, it's not always about marketing. It's a lot about problem solving. At the moment, especially now, so many people are going through so many different things in life, and sometimes in order to get to the marketing, you have to resolve a couple of personal issues or business issues to get to where you need to go. And I think that's the beauty of it, and how you were mentioning earlier that you like this platform because you get to know people and you get to know who they are and what they do, but most importantly, you get to know their type of character. And so in entrepreneurship, it's not such a big world, and so being able to assist and help one another with an open heart and being genuine is what really moves the type of work that we do and what makes it worth it, because we do work a lot too. So being able to understand that those entrepreneurs need your help, that your services or your products is way bigger than saying, I'm going to get a sale, right? Being able to say, let me just help you. And you'll see how life and gratitude, it comes back 3 times folds, and that gratitude of it just becomes very beautiful. So have an open well.
Yes, have a mindset of serving. Have a mindset of serving, because if that's the thing, you come out of yourself and all your doubts and all of your noise, and you just serve, and you just realize, oh my gosh, you help a lot more people. So, yeah, absolutely. Crystal, I want to know your opinion on niching. We hear a lot about niching. I speak about that as well. So what do you think about niching down to a niche when you maybe even just start out? I mean, I know as you evolve and grow, then you have more confidence, you have more experience, it's different. But especially people that are starting out, should they niche down? How do they do that? Sometimes we get so much confusing information about that.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have mixed feelings about that because it just depends on the type of industry that you're doing or the type of services that you're doing. So if you have a specific product that, for example, it's only for men, obviously that's a type of niche, right? Because of the product or
We
already
niche
has.
down already. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you have a type of service that can be, some people start broad, and then as they move forward, they're like, you know what, I don't like this specific area, but I like this specific area. So let me just go ahead and niche here because I feel like I'm stronger here. I enjoy it more. It's more my type. Then I feel like that's okay. It just depends where you're at in your business and where you're heading as well. A lot of times people just want to test the waters and see where they fit better, and that's totally fine. And then eventually they find their way and start niching. Other people off the bat, they are like, this is what I'm doing, and I only want to serve this kind of products or people, and that's okay as well. I feel like there's no right and wrong. It just depends on where you're at in your business and what you want to do and your overall goal.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. There's many ways to go about it. I just feel like when you are really trying to serve a lot of people, especially the beginning, it's a good idea in a niche because it's all about the messaging. Then your message diluted. So yeah, definitely. There's many ways to go about it. But I think with more experience, you just become wiser and you just have more results under your belt. So you really niche down naturally to the people that, willing to pay for your services or products. Yes.
Or finding somebody that is already niche in that area and study them and see how they did it. Like there's no need to reinvent the wheel here. If there's a specific person that is doing what you want to do, learn from them. At the end of the day, that's something you want to do, and if that's something you want to do, you might as well test it out before you actually get started and see if that's something that really fits you at the end of the day, rather than testing and getting nowhere, right?
Yeah, more time. Time is money nowadays. So absolutely. All right, Chris, I want to thank for everything you've shared. We reached the end of the interview. Really valuable information. I hope someone related to it, and maybe we can help someone that was listening to the information that we shared. And towards the end, I want to ask you just to recap. Who do you help? How do you help them? And where is it that people can find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, I help a lot of women in businesses. I love to just serve women in general because I feel like we have a common language and a common goal, but also the understanding that there's more to marketing than just the basics of what's out there. Being able to just make sure that their business like grows and in the right direction, right? We're not here for short term, we're here for long term. So being able to understand that the branding and the aspect of it, the operations, etc., it's all a process. This is not get rich, get quick kind of scheme or anything like that. It's just more like understanding that if you want to be successful, is being able to comprehend where you're at and where you're heading as far as the marketing side. And you can reach me. I'm really easy to find. You can even Google me at Krista Valk. You can find me on Facebook, on LinkedIn. I'm very active there. You can email me at customers@ensemblemarketingsolutions.com. I'm pretty accessible. If you send me a message, most likely I will respond to you. I'm here to serve and help anybody that needs it. And I know that right now these are times that most importantly people need a lot of help and assistance in the direction that they're heading with. And I'm not here to waste your time, and I'm not here to waste my time either. Like you said, time is money, but most importantly, time you can't get it back. So let's make sure that we come to a common ground and a common goal where we all are successful.
Yeah, I love that. Crystal, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to hear everything that you had to share with us. And thank you so much for being on. And I definitely highly encourage all women that need some sort of direction in their marketing, or even just to clarify their goals, because I think it starts with that before you even get into the marketing. It's such a big word sometimes, but it just takes, a few steps to get to that. So I hope that whoever's listening connect with you and then go from there. So thank you so much for being on. And we have actually reached the end of our show, and we will see you next week.
Thank you and God bless.